Hello, MyLeadSystemPro. This is Roxanne Hanna bringing you our Member of the Month for February, and that is Mr. Brian Cole. Brian, how are you?
Fantastic. Yourself?
Great. Thank you very much. So let's talk about your journey. First of all, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
It's been fun watching you since you've been in MyLeadSystemPro. And when I say let's talk about your journey, because that's really kind of what it's been. But people talk about journeys and they say you can start at one point and you can make a lot of lefts and rights and go all different sorts of directions. Your journey's maybe only taken one or two little turns, and it seems like once you hopped on the road, you knew what you wanted and you've pretty much gotten it.
Yeah, that's true. I know a lot of people who are in My Lead System Pro know my story, but for those who don't, in short and summary, my story starts out in January of 2010 when I was 20 years old. I dropped out of college. I failed almost every class. Actually, I really did fail every class. I did, believe it or not. My last semester, my GPA was .25. Yeah, not good, especially when your parents are paying 18 grand for it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I found myself working at McDonald's full-time. It was my summer job and my job in high school, but now I was working it full-time. They wanted me to come in at 4 in the morning every day, so as crazy as that sounds, I did it. That was my life. 5 days a week. I woke up at 3, went into work at 4, got home at 1 in the afternoon, crashed, I had nothing left. I had a very odd sleep schedule for most of the year. So, when people say they have full-time jobs trying to do this business, I've been there. Been there, done that. It was crazy. So, after a few months, I knew I didn't want to work at McDonald's the rest of my life. So, I opened up a business on March 31st of 2010. And 3 weeks later, I found My Lead System Pro. So, I've been with MLSP for pretty much the entire journey of my entrepreneurship so far. And it wasn't easy for me at first. I struggled. I struggled mightily. I struggled for about 100 days because I tried learning every strategy. Well, then in August, I focused in on Facebook advertising, and I got the training that I needed to, and I was able to sponsor about 42 people into MLSP in about 60 days, and then I went full-time later that year. So I've been full-time in business since November of 2010. Now, we'll fast forward to April of last year, 2011. Things were a little bit tough between the time I went full-time into this business until the end of April. I was given a chance I really didn't deserve. My Lead System Pro was offering a ticket about a couple days before the No Excuses Summit, and I had passed on it, and I decided I'm going to go for it, and I did. I won, obviously, and that event changed my life. It was my first event. I was scared to fly across the country by myself. It was the first time I've ever flown alone, but it's all good. Winners find a way to make it happen. So I did. I showed up, met all the MLSP crew, and the big takeaway I would say I got from that was from Tim Irway. Basically, in short, he said, create your own stuff, create your own products. So I did. 3 weeks later, I created the first version of my Facebook advertising product, which was the backbone of my business. Since I've released a few more products since then, and my product line has really become, that's why I'm here, is because of my product line, because it helped build my brand. Now, fast forward to the fall, MLSP, I started really promoting it again. I just decided to do a lot of the Rob Fore approach, which is search engine optimization. I rose on the search engines very quickly, and I still generate massive amounts of leads and traffic and signups into MLSP from it, including last month, which was by far easily my best month. With My Lead System Pro, I got 32,406 visits to my content split between my blog and my YouTube channel, and I generated 843 leads and signed up 35 people last month. So, and that was all autopilot. I didn't call any leads. It goes to show you, internet marketing works, and if you put the numbers in, there'll be numbers on the other side. So that's pretty much my story. I try to condense it as much as possible, but it's been an incredible ride, and I truly believe that my best days are yet to come.
Okay, well, let's expand on it a little bit.
Sure.
So we're going to go back to one of our members who had a few extra tickets to the No Excuses event, Nancy Beach, and so she came to me and said, I have these tickets and I'm just going to give them away. I want to give them away to someone who is deserving. So what do we do? Did we do a little contest or something? I don't even
It was a
remember.
video contest. Yeah, we
Video.
had 6
Why should I
hours,
have?
to do
Yeah,
it.
why
Yeah,
should I have the ticket? Right, exactly. Well, because
exactly.
she
Yep.
came and we said, okay, okay, well, like the event is in what, 2 days or something,
Yep.
and so we just did a quick bit. We said, okay, here's a video contest, and the people who just really jumped on it and produced a good video that, I mean, pretty much from their heart said, this is why I really want it. And you scrounged up the money to get
Mhm.
on an airplane.
Mhm.
And where do you live?
Just north of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, that is all the way across the country.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and that was your first time getting on an airplane all by yourself.
All by myself. Yeah.
That's super cute. So, did you, I mean, what were you, what was going through you, as you were about to board the airplane? I mean,
Oh,
that's, right?
wow.
I can imagine.
Scared out of my life. Really, I was scared. I obviously never flown by myself. I was tense all the way there. I won the contest. Well, I didn't realize I had won the contest till less than 24 hours before I was supposed to board an airplane. The airplane ticket itself was $900. I didn't have the money for it, so I said, Mom, Dad. So yeah, they were gracious enough to let me go. Winners find a way to make it happen. You can't. That's one thing I always emphasize in my marketing. Never, ever, ever let financial excuses get in the way of your success.
Yeah.
I've been there on the minimum wage budget with McDonald, saying, going back to no excuses. Yeah, I mean, I was scared. I was, the whole weekend was a whirlwind for me. I was shy, but I'll tell you, it was worth it. I have no idea where I would be in my business today if I hadn't gone.
Right. Isn't that beautiful?
Yep.
An amazing story.
It is.
Yeah. So did you have a blog then?
Yeah, I did. It had a little bit of content on it, but it wasn't ranking at all. Basically, I didn't really start rising on the search engines until September when I got a training from Rob Fore. His training's great. I can definitely speak on his behalf for it.
Yeah. And besides that, he's just an all-around great guy, very well balanced. So good
Oh, yeah.
for you. So then you came back from No Excuses, and you started. You applied what you learned from Facebook training, and you created a product.
Yes.
Now, what would you say to somebody who says, okay, well, I know a bunch of stuff. How do I put a product together without having to spend, money to buy a product to teach them how to make a product?
Right. I'll tell you, the first version of my Facebook advertising product was it was an 80-minute video. That's all it was. It wasn't divided into sections. It was just a video that I hosted on my private video hosting, EasyS3. People can use YouTube for a temporary solution if they need to, even though I don't recommend that pathway at all. But that's all it was. It was just a video. It was on my blog, password protected. That's it. I sold it for $37, and at the time I had no capture page, no sales letter, no affiliate program. So I knew the only way I could make money from it was connecting with people on social media, and that's exactly what I did, and I made thousands doing it. And eventually Magnetic Sponsoring and No Excuses picked up the story, which was great, which helped establish my brand big time.
Yeah, that is really cool. A lot of people let their fears get in the way. We all have fears.
Right.
That's normal. So we face them, and then we realize, well, they weren't really that big of a deal in the beginning.
Right. And it goes to show you your product doesn't need to be perfect, doesn't need to look, sexy or great or anything in order to make money from it. Mine was only $37. Obviously, my Facebook advertising product's a little bit more than that now, but at the time, I just took that price point and ran with it. It's a numbers game. You just got to talk to people.
Well, people appreciate that too. Not everybody. You're absolutely right with what you say about not letting finances get in the way, but
right.
Sometimes for some months, for people, they want to buy. It's not that people don't want to buy, but when it really comes down to it, maybe, that 30. So no matter
right.
where you are, I mean, you did a great job by doing that, and
Well, thank you.
The only way is up, so
Right.
Here you
I
are.
also will say that a lot of the connections I made on that social media tear, I guess you could call it, in the summertime have been some of the best connections I have ever made in this industry.
Why is that?
Well, one of them was Tanya Links. That's how I met her, was through social media. I met a lot of other people doing that. A lot of people, I still talk to today. I met them at Live the Dream, and it established my brand. Put me on the map.
So you're creating bonds with,
Creating the relationship.
yeah, excellent. Okay, good. So, all right, now let's talk about some. Well, okay, so people come and go in My Lead System Pro. You know that there's
Yep.
plenty that start, and then on the other end, there's plenty that fall off. I think
Yep.
that we're building a great community, and I think that we're stronger
Absolutely.
than ever. But people still do fall off for all kinds of reasons, all kinds. Self-doubt to just crisis in the family to absolutely having zero money because they just got laid off or whatever.
Right.
What kind of passage have you had with My Lead System Pro, and why would you say that people fall off and come back?
Wow. I think the number one reason why people fail is mindset. I mean, we all know that. They just don't have the determination to do whatever it takes to succeed in their business. The very first obstacle that comes up, they whine, they complain, and get mad at the world, and they quit. They drop off. And that would be the number one reason. See, when I got involved with MLSP, and I realized all the leaders that were in there, because I was following a lot of leaders in my first few weeks in business beforehand. I just didn't realize they were all with MLSP at the time. And when I realized that, I'm like, okay, I know the system works, and I am going to figure this out, until the day I die. I said that, really. I mean, and I know I'm young, so that's kind of an extreme.
Got a long way. Yeah,
Like, I know I'm only 22. I was 20 at the time, but yeah, I mean, I said I am gonna figure this out. I talked to my upline at the time in My Lead System Pro, almost every day. I asked her questions, but she helped me, because she knew I was an action taker. I didn't have very much money to invest in my business, but with the little that I had, I'll tell people the stuff I bought. AWeber, magnetic sponsoring, traffic formula, black belt recruiting. The list can go on and on and on with what I bought. With every paycheck that came in, I took action, and it's worth it. Every purchase I made, it's been great inside of this at the time. Because most of the products I bought were magnetic sponsorings. They have a great product line.
They sure do.
So that's how to answer that.
So, are you selling a lot of products as an affiliate, plus obviously selling your own and continue to create your own now?
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely focused on MLSP, and then using that to put people into my back end and doing selling my own products. My product line has always been the core of my business, and that's the stuff that's really established my brand. That's how I took off in this industry, was creating my own products.
And do you use My Lead System Pro mostly as a lead generation and an internet marketing education
Yes,
tool?
absolutely.
Is that how you market it?
Primarily, yes. I've generated over 5,000 leads for the system and put in over 120 people doing it. I've kind of been, on and off, promoting the system over the past couple of years, but most of my 120 plus people I've put in have come in spurts. Like in the fall of 2010, I put in 42 in 60 days. Then when I went on my first SEO run in the fall, I put in 22 in 28 days, and now most recently 35 in 31 days. So that adds up to, that'll get you close to 100 right there.
Right, right.
And I am focused, and I'm running with this. Absolutely.
Excellent. It's great to see you doing that. You told me something right before we started the call, which I didn't know. Be careful what you tell me.
Oh.
It's not a bad thing, though. It's actually
No,
a
it's
really
that's
good
not.
thing, because a lot of people have this question,
Mm-hmm.
and that was probably one of the best tidbits of information that I could have ever gotten from you. Actually, Brian is not in a MLM. And
Correct.
a lot of people, do I have to be in an MLM? Do I have to be in an MLM? Well, we say, no, you don't. You can still tell money on the table by not having that back end
Right.
primary program. So what are what do you think the pros and cons of that are? I'm sure you have plenty of people coming to you trying to get you into their company, right?
Yeah, I get a lot of people. I think I won't mention any specific companies on this call, but I get a lot of pitches. I
Sure,
really
of
do, and I tell
course.
people it's not you. I've been there. I used to be an MLM. That's how I got started. And I really follow your heart, follow your desires. Very quickly in the fall of 2010, I realized I had a talent for internet marketing. It took me a year and a half to really figure that out. And once I
Right.
did figure that out, that was truly my passion. I didn't want to, because internet marketing and network marketing are two completely different things. And I couldn't get myself sidetracked with network marketing, so I said, okay, from a thing, and I'm just going to run with it. And
Right.
that's exactly what I've done.
And that's beautiful that you can still have that decision in your life, move forward from a decision where you're really comfortable with the decision you've made,
Yep,
and completely still reap the benefits from MyLeadSystemPro for internet marketing training. I think that's
yep.
great.
Because MyLeadSystemPro is internet marketing.
Yeah,
It really is.
absolutely.
It's an affiliate program.
So, okay, 3 to 5 years. Where is Brian Cole going to be? What do you see? What do you
Wow.
want? What do you want?
3 to 5
It's like
years.
right around the corner.
Yeah. Wow. Honestly, I mean, there's a few things I definitely want. Is I want to move to Texas. I like Texas. I have family about an hour west of Houston, so I want to move to the Houston area. I like the culture down there. No more cold. I grew up in upstate New York. It's still, it gets cold sometimes here in Ohio, but not nearly as bad as upstate New York. But I just want to be done with it forever.
Well,
So
you will
I'm
be.
going to go down there. Yeah, and also Texas is pretty friendly on businesses as far as tax rates are concerned.
Right.
Ohio is actually one of the nastiest ones in the country, in the top 10. Texas is in the top 10 for one of the best. So that's another reason why I want to go down there eventually, except I'll be there sooner than 3 years. I'll tell you that. But for now, this works out for me. It's still a nice area. I live in a beautiful area of Southwest Ohio. And also, the internet here sucks. Completely irrelevant to this call, but
It's so
my
irrelevant. If you're in Ohio and you try to get into internet marketing, you need to
right.
leave.
Believe it or not, my upload speed is one of the slowest ones in the United States, but yet most of my success has come through video. Go figure.
There you go. It just does.
I know he's listening. He told me the other day his download speed is faster than my upload speed. Or the other way around. His upload speed is faster than my download speed.
Either way.
Gotta love it.
So, well, you'll be in good company. You'll be in good company
Yeah.
down in Texas. And career-wise, well, what do you say? We have jobs, we have careers, and we have callings.
Right.
Where do you feel like you are, or where do you feel like you're headed?
Well, McDonald's is actually the one and only job I have ever had and ever will have,
Right.
and which I'm very thankful for. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be pursuing any kind of career or a job. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's not really a whole lot of security in it. How do I know? Well, my dad's unemployed right now.
Yeah.
So I definitely don't want to take that to chance. Multiple streams of income that MLSP teaches. It works. I'm living proof of it. I make money from all sorts of different places now. Used to be a lot, like most of it was my product line, but now a lot of it more is diversified. Especially last month when I went on that recruiting spree for MLSP. The next paycheck I'm getting from you guys will be by far my biggest one yet. So definitely thankful for that. Thankful that it's spread out and not just putting my eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm. And as far as, so you feel like you're going to continue to build products and just
Yep,
have a
products. Yeah, coaching program will be something more I'll emphasize in the future. I do have a real back end now because I just formed a joint venture with somebody a few days ago, and it's already working out great. He's calling my MLSP leads now. He's calling my leads are getting called now, so Ray Higdon doesn't have to steal them anymore. So yeah, it's already working out great. A lot of my leads are very thankful that somebody's contacting them. So I think that February is going to be another great month.
Excellent, super, and right around the corner is no excuses. Do you ever aspire to be up on stage and speak? Are you that
Oh,
personality?
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I do want to speak someday. Maybe I'm planning on continuing with My Lead System Pro. I think Live the Dream this fall is probably my first realistic point where I could be a speaker, but obviously that's not in my hands. It would be an honor, but I am working towards it.
Excellent, excellent. Well, congratulations, Brian. It's been
Thank you.
a pleasure talking to you from the first time we talked or emailed when you won that ticket to
That's
No
right.
Excuses.
I've come a long way since that point.
You've done a great, great job. So,
Oh, thank you.
yeah. And why don't you give us give everyone your blog address so they can come say hi to you?
Sure. Actually,
where's the best place?
Facebook would be the best place to hang out with me. People can go just connect with me on my personal profile. It's facebook.com/Cole.BrianJ.
Cole.BrianJ. Got it.
Cole.BrianJ.
Excellent. Well, enjoy the beautiful day, and we'll see
thank you.
you at No Excuses in
Absolutely.
April.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.